Me pone Eve. Puede que sea el nombre de la otra.
Well, my friend Eve.
¿Amiga?
I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it.
¿Ustedes no son hermanas o sí?
Really hate her sometimes. Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship.
Esa candela.
A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
Entonces, uno dice, parece que es hermana, otra que es amiga.
My mother called me Eve.
Poca familia. Familia no, familia. 6 entradas. Tengo 5.
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
Minuto 24.
Florence was a warm, kind person, but she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it, older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
Florencia era la comadrona, creo.
No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week. I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
Busca Florencia, ve. Dos nuevas.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
¿Se reflejaba aquí algo raro? ¿Y Florencia se llevó una de las gemelas?
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror.
Espejo.
She was me.
Reflejo. Vamos a buscar dinero. Hay tres.
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one. No, everyone loved Simon. He's a glazier, he doesn't have much money. I don't know. I don't know.
Era cristalero.
If you put me on You've Been Framed, I want the money.
Era cristalero. Eric ha hablado y creo que no lo he buscado antes. Han hablado varias veces. 3 que no tengo y hay 14 con él.
He was wearing a shirt. It's a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house. Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back. Well, Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Mujer. Tres.
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay, because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine. No, Simon wasn't seeing another woman. Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diana's a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX. And I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
No. Ay, ¿qué busco ahora? Tenía un bebé, una. O ella, voy a buscar bebé. Una entrada nueva.
No, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem.
Ha puesto bebé de beber, pero de niño no. ¿Niño? Voy a buscar niño. A ver. 18 entradas.
No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. Helps make sense of my day.
Diario.
When you're forced to put something into words, just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page. Yeah, when I was at school, I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till. I got pregnant.
Embarazada.
Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
¿Para casarse?
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
¿Se casaron? Que los obligaron a casarse, en teoría. Voy a poner boda. 5 entradas ahí.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
Pero los obligaron, pero les gustó casarse, no entiendo.
Yeah, That's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, it must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
Glasgow.
Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
Con el coche. 13. 4:09.
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left,
Discusión.
I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car.
Discusión, parece que discutieron.
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep. I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there. And I... Excuse me. Is there a bin?
Oh, Dios. Larga la papilla.
Yeah. I pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted.
Glasgow. 10 y me salen 3 sin ver, que no he visto. Vamos a ver.
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone and then headed back. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
¿Esto qué es? Añadir sesión. No he hecho nada.
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi.
Taxi.
Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine.
Embarazada. Eso lo
The
buscaba.
hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
Vale.
Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant.
Ah, que está embarazada
It's
ahora.
morning sickness.
Vómito bañanero.
No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant. It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind. But she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending.
Final
Is that too
infeliz.
much?
Otro logro. Happy ending. Voy a buscar feliz. Ah, mira. Añadí yo aquí una. Eso es, añadí.
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days, no one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage, the worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Se refleja alguien aquí. De vez en cuando. Es verdad, ¿quién soy? ¿El policía? No entiendo. Pero la historia está interesante. Vamos a buscar. Vamos a ver qué ve aquí. El listado. Regalo. Ha salido varias veces. 8 entradas y 2 no vistas.
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present. It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror. A nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
Especial. A ver, discusión. No sale nada. tilde. Entonces a bebé hay que ponerle la tilde también. No entra en discusión.
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
Helen. Helen. ¿Los tengo apuntados aquí ya o no? Le gustan las rubias. Le gusta. Puede que le guste Helen. Voy a apuntarlo.
There's no couple stuff. A stupid argument. Nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
12 segundos.
No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way. Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.